the media today, and when you see the journalists, they don't engage in resolution, largely talking about problems because they don't have that exposure.
So every year when the results would come out, we would target those 10 toppers and glorify them in the newspaper and all that. So there was one parent who called me one day, and that really opened my eyes. She called me and she said that my son missed the rank by probably 1 or 2 marks, but he is not in a newspaper. Is he a failure? I didn't have an answer to that.
We have very superficial way of reporting, and we are not going into a deep dive investigative reporting. Are we lacking today?
It is just opportunities that differentiates between an achiever and a non-achiever.
How to make these rural areas self-sufficient, which can tap the potential of these people, in multifarious ways, And that's what we plan to do with Antardhwani in Gunlupet.
What they need is resources. What they need is knowledge, know-how. Nobody recognized this. The system did not. The politicians did not. Make them part of the mainstream is important. Right now, I feel they have left out of the mainstream. You see, mainstream is the technology India, techs, we talk in Bangalore. Nobody talks about rural. Hello everyone. Today I am very happy to have Seethalakshmi and Rahul, who are actually involved in the work of Antardhwani, and to understand their past, what they did, and how they got interested in this movement we have started, and then go into the details of what is their vision and how we can take it forward. To begin with, I would like to say both Seethalakshmi and Rahul have been of immense help to me in this organization of Antardhwani. So let us hear from them in their own words what transformation has happened. So Seethalakshmi, welcome to this podcast.
Thank
Rahul,
you, Doctor.
Thank you, Dr. Ajai.
So Seethalakshmi, I know I met you as a editor of Times of India. Can you just go down the lane to explain what changed and how you came to join this movement, and then maybe a few views, and Rahul can step in afterwards, and what made you join Rahul? It'll be interesting for the audience to know how two prominent people out of media came to this organization and how they are trying to transform it.
So, Doctor, it was one of those days when you decided to have a press conference right down in the city, and I was going about doing my work, and when you said if we can meet up for coffee, I readily agreed, because those were the times when I was heading a bureau and I would never get out as a reporter.
Correct.
And I came and met you, and
it was a coffee day meeting.
It was a coffee day, yes, right on MG Road.
Yes.
And it started with both of us expressing the boredom that we are facing in each of our professions. I told I am bored. You said you were also bored, but I was quite shocked that you were bored because you were the chairman of 26 hospitals. And
I don't know, it's boredom. It was just that I needed other things to do in life.
Exactly. So when you heard me saying that I want to go beyond the media, you were equally shocked, and you told me that, are you sure about moving? Yes. Because you are in a place where you do everything every day, and that's how a newsroom functions.
And people look up to you as an editor of journal, editor of prominent newspaper. People come in line to get views, and you have the authority to say, don't do this, do that.
Absolutely.
And you are willing to give up all that.
Exactly. So to quickly tell you what made me say that to you, because when you are in the media, you normally don't look out. And to you, when I met you, you were the one who actually triggered that whole thought in me and said that I need to go beyond this writing, beyond that, to do those changes on the. And that's why I thought I should join you in your journey of, starting a think tank and doing those policy changes on the ground.
It has been a fantastic journey.
Thank you, Doctor.
Before we go deep into Rahul, maybe, I have not met you before, only through Seethalakshmi.
Sure.
So tell us a little bit about you and what made you also jump into this.
So, Dr. Ajai, it's a really interesting talk today. I spent all my journalism in Delhi. So I started with the Indian Express, and then I was in the Times of India for a long time. When I moved on in the Times of India to Bangalore, and then for a short time I kept speaking to Sita on how we all at a point of time, doctor, want to move on beyond those closed rooms, because at certain point of time, journalism, I hope you will agree, both of you have become very process oriented and very response oriented.
Okay.
So the passion for journalism per se has gone down, has been depleting over the years. So, and that was one thing, that you come from your home as an editor, you manage a team, get the day's work done, and you go back home, maybe happily, but inside, something inside keeps.
Are you saying that it is not exciting as people perceive from outside?
People have the notion that the newsroom is very exciting. It is exciting. It keeps you on tenterhooks every minute.
Yes.
But after some years of spending, after you know the in and out of journalism, the way it works, whether it is print or television, you are overwhelmed with it, and then you want to do something which kind of fulfills you in a different manner.
Yes.
Right. So, and then I kept speaking to Sita about this, and she was in very much sync at that time, in those, what I also want to do something, and then one day she told me literally that I am going to meet Dr. Ajai Kumar, and he's the chairman of HCG, a fabulous cancer care center in India, which is doing remarkable line of treatment, and you share something to do beyond what you have been doing that time, So I was very interested that who is this person? So I asked him some bit about you, that tell me something more about Dr. Ajai Kumar, Then I remember we were sitting in terrace that day of Times of India, and we were talking all these things. She said that Dr. Ajai has a long, remarkable history of, treating cancer patients, and he had been in the US. She told me all these things, and I'm meeting him. I said, wonderful, So, and she also mentioned that you have a sync of this, doing something beyond. So let's explore what is that beyond. So she went and met you, and she came back and told me, that this what has happened. And then I was just thinking that really it kind of sparks something, it's something which gels with what I also want to do. And then I remember meeting you for the first time. I remember that room where we met, and that room became our meeting place for long years,
Correct.
And then you asked me, and I also discovered you that day as somebody really, and then I got to, in that short time, I made out your thoughts, what you want, in which areas you want to go ahead, and that was remarkable. And that's one blink, I think, what she told, and then we met you. We met, and that changed our course,
Yeah.
And
because it changed the whole life essentially.
Whole life.
Type of work you were
and
doing.
I want to mention that since the day I met you, I feel there's not a point of regret till today. I'm sitting here and talking to you. That why did I meet you?
Yes.
Why was a meeting? What happened to us?
What happened? Yeah, exactly.
Now, Seethalakshmi, coming back to what you said, did you ever think about, here is a cancer hospital chairman, he has done some work, rural work, social work, he has this idea of maybe think tank to see how to transform society. Did you look at it, was there a risk? Am I going through some risk? How was your reaction in the family? What was it? Are you basically a risk taker, or you said, okay, whatever the risk, I'm going to jump into it? What made you take that final plunge into it?
Yeah. So, Doctor, right from my college days, I've always wanted to be in a profession that brings me closer to people and write about them, which is why I specialized in journalism in my studies as well. So, definitely it was not easy for me, because for many years, at least 5 years before I met you and talked to you about the final plunge, I have been thinking that I was not challenging myself. It had stopped becoming challenge. It became so easy for me to put out those stories and, you know, be the number
You
one
got used to
newspaper.
it so much. It
So
was-
much that I said I had stopped learning. I was not learning at all, because as a reporter, you would go out and do different things every day, and that is what I loved for all the years that I did. Having said that, it was very, very, very fulfilling for me, even on the last day. I did not want to leave this job because I loved every day of my job. I didn't want to leave the job and say that, oh, I hate this job and therefore I'm going. I didn't do that.
You did not. That's an important point. You
Yes.
really did not dislike the job.
I
you
did
would
not.
get up in the morning and say, I'll go
Look
to work.
forward.
Look forward.
Yes.
But still you chose this.
I chose this because
That
as
is
a-
remarkable, because majority of the people would be kind of getting into what you call a burn status.
Yes.
Okay, I'm done with this job. I want to look out. But this attracted you because of your certain passion.
Yes, because I said I had stopped learning and I said, is there something that I can do? As a reporter, if I have to go to any place, I will go, come back, write it and it will be published. That's all. Then you move on. In a newsroom, you don't stick on
Correct.
to anything. But in this job that I have taken up with you, I am able to take it much further. If I have to work with women in the rural areas, I can actually see the changes. But that was not possible in a newspaper, because you write and you keep moving from story to story. Like Rahul rightly pointed out, it is a process.
Yeah.
You finish that process and you move on. There is no
It
tomorrow,
is
there
a
is no
SOP
yesterday.
in place. Systems
Exactly.
are in place.
Yeah, there is no tomorrow and there is no yesterday in a newspaper. It is today, you do it and you move on. So that is what made me take that final plunge.
Rahul, what about, I will ask Seethalakshmi also same question as we come around. What did your colleagues, particularly your colleagues' reaction to this? You're leaving this, you're deputy editor, you're leaving, you're going for this risk probably taking. What was the advice from your family, colleagues? Did people, how did they react to this?
So I would like to say, Dr. Jay, that I shared the development with basically my father, and I told him that this is in process, this is something which is happening, and this really aligns with what I want to do. This change, So what is your idea? So he's always been that person who says that if you believe in something deeply, if you have some faith in doing something, of course some people said that, because when you work in a big organization like Times of India, it brings certain kind of, you associate with a big brand, and then people and then they ask that, is it good when you are doing well in an organization like Times of India to move on? Is it the right decision?
That would be the normal reaction. You're doing
That
so
was.
well, why do you want
A few people,
to?
yeah, you're right. So they said, just think about it, twice, thrice before, because, this brings a lot of things for you. Your future is bright here. You're all doing well, frankly. But I told them that, no, maybe, I have thought about it and I'm still thinking about it. But slowly it is gradually sinking in me that this is something which I really would like to do.
It is the satisfaction level, contentment level, or is it a challenge what you like?
So to extend what you have asked, it was not even easy for me to wriggle out of the Times of India, because my editors from Delhi called up and said that we will do work from home, we will do everything, but don't leave. Because like Rahul rightly said, that we were performers in the
That was the big thing.
Yes. So they said no, because nobody leaves when you are there, because the whole team, nothing stops because somebody leaves an organization. But it was also tough for me to convince, and they said that why would you go and join or start a think tank in a cancer hospital leaving the Times of India? Because the Times of India is looking at all the hospitals, so what is it? Are you starting something of your own? So the challenge was for me to convince my editors than my family members, because family members I would go back and say, oh no, this job is not challenging me anymore, I'm not doing anything new. So that was it. So challenge is what I would answer.
I would want to ask you, Dr. Ajay, at this point,
Yes.
which very much sinks that now you have worked with two journalists for past 7 years.
Yeah.
So your perception of journalists and journalism, before that and now? Has been there a change? What is it?
See, to me, what I would say, I was about to say is, both of you are really phenomenal people. You are not ordinary people, you are extraordinary people. Because ordinary people would never have taken this leap. And they would be more for security, I want this, I want to do this. And you are very secure people, and you had certain vision. And fortunately we got connected, and you said this is where I want to go. It is like a very dream-like story. But in answer to your question, I always looked upon journalists as somebody who is inquisitive, who want to learn, and I would say majority are good people. And they want to they have chosen journalism with their command over the language, the writing ability. So they are people who are very good. And we have lot of journalists who have done remarkable work. But on the other hand, when you and Seethalakshmi came over, and some of the things Seethalakshmi said, which I will ask her to elaborate, is, see, I am now seeing it from the other side, makes a difference. That was a news to me. Okay. Because I thought journalists would always see from the other side also. Maybe you can explain that, and towards the end also we can sum it up when we do. But it'll be interesting to hear what you meant by seeing from the other side makes a difference.
Okay. So I'll give you anecdotes when I first went to Hunsur to do the tobacco project to do with the farmers. So how would I have handled it?
That is the plan where we did alternate farming for farmers
we
who are growing
piloted,
tobacco.
50
and you
farmers.
took a lead role in that.
Yes. So when we went, and first when we briefed you on what this whole project is going to be, we will pilot it with 50 farmers, get them out and do alternate farming. Now, as a reporter of the Times of India, as a journalist, how would I have handled it? I would have gone to them, spoken to 15 farmers and spoken to all the stakeholders in the story, come back, written it, forget it. Now, what happened with this project that I moved from the newspaper is that I am still in touch with the farmers, which does not happen in a newspaper, because you can't keep track of so many
story,
people.
It would be over.
Exactly, you said it. It is just a story. So for me, the learning in the think tank, working with you, was that you deep dive into something and you are still in touch with that and see the logical end to that project. Now today, there were even 15 days ago, the farmers called to say that the sandalwood trees are all growing so beautifully. Wow. Now, that is the satisfaction. I'm not saying we didn't have all these things in journalism, but when you call and tell that, okay, there has been an impact on the story, it would have been there. But today, you're seeing it, you're seeing this plant grow. Now, that is what is the difference.
Rahul? Yes. I would just like to add that what Seetha is telling, that today's breed of journalists, it's not a blanket statement, but today the breed of journalists boast on borrowed information. So largely we broke that thing. In past 7 years, we have first-hand information of a lot of things, first-hand learning. We have enriched ourselves in manifold ways, which I cannot even tell you. Yes. So we have seen the surface scraping at many places, how things are from our eyes. And that changes you as a person as well. Yes. So you approach things differently.
You mean to say in India, we have very superficial way of reporting, and we are not going into a deep dive investigative reporting? Are we lacking today?
I mean, I would not like to say for entirety, but I would like to say that this trend is increasing, where that breed of journalism is taking over, who believe in short responses, short moments of their
30 seconds by
fame. So less first-hand exposure, less research. I'm not telling everybody is like that.
Because I think the problem is, even today in the talks we give, the people who invite us say they give a very interesting topic, but they want you to cover in 10 minutes, 15 minutes.
Yes.
That is exactly what you're saying. So we are not having a deep discussions, we are not going into the depth of it.
Right.
That kind of investigative work, authentic work is lacking. Maybe because of the demand, people want 30 seconds quickly to say what it is, and they don't want to spend time on going into the depth. They just want to know a brief summary of it. Is that what it is?
It is. And also, when you read the media today and when you see the journalists, they don't engage in resolution. See, largely talking about problems because they don't have that exposure.
Yeah.
When she's telling about this alternative tobacco farming we did in
Correct,
Hunsur, we helped 50 farmers, supplied them 15,000 high-grade saplings of various kinds,
Yeah.
changed their lives a bit, It was a trial. But it changed our perception that this can be done. This is not how it can be done. What is the solution for this,
Yes.
So what we pick today is we see a bit of everything, but we don't get to learn from anything much. That's what it is. You are right.
I think that's a good point, Seethalakshmi. Now, taking your journey for the last several years, since you joined our think tank, we had lot of ups and downs. Because I think at that point, we were more of a seeker
Yes.
rather than having a what is our finite point. See, our journey has been a seeker's journey. Do you agree with that? And how has this journey been to you? And what is based on that, how do you see things differently now in 2025? And then, of course, we can talk about the future.
Yes. So, Doctor, you're right that we have been seeking information and the way we have looked at projects and all that. But it has been a lot of learning. Like you always said, I have never heard all my previous bosses telling me you can fail. Because in a newsroom, you cannot fail. It is a daily deadline. It is a daily product. A newspaper is a daily product. You cannot fail. But that is the biggest learning for me, that you would always say in all the meetings that we have had, it's okay to fail. I would tell myself, no, doctor, it is not okay to fail. It took me many years to understand what you were saying is that you are right about it, that you may go and experiment with 50 farmers, then it might succeed, it might not succeed, but you have not doing it. So that is the differentiator for me in this job versus my previous job. So to look at how we will go about it in the future is that it is all, a lot of clarity has come. We have gone to 100 people, talked to them about their vision. And you always say this, that you have your vision, but integrate their visions. Don't make their vision your vision.
Correct.
So I think that is where we stand today in 2025, that we do know what we need to do and we have crystal clear clarity on we will do this in Gundlupat, we will do rural women leadership, we will push those people because like you rightly used the word hunger. That is something that we need to capitalize on and work with them.
At some point it is the reason you can also comment all on this failure. See, it has always been we try to measure success, like you said, in your industry, newspaper. Day is a very day success. Which story, how many people read it, they do database, think is this article, did it go well, can we do so it's a database thing. But what the reason I focus not only on success but also on failure is a great learning curve. If you fail, you kind of put your thinking hat on and say, hey, why did I fail? So it kind of leads to bigger success. Have you been in the same boat, and do you agree what Seethalakshmi said?
I kind of feel that failure is one of a very natural human virtue.
Yes.
And that mostly, like Seetha said, that had been in me. I've also learned from you, when people allow you to fail, then again rise and fail again and learn from those things.
Yes.
So today, the place where we were spending our time I want to say that people don't associate with those who fail.
Fail.
So that I don't want to associate with him. He is not good.
Particularly in our country, failure is not celebrated.
Not celebrated.
Correct?
We have discussed this before.
Yeah.
Yes, it
Yeah,
is
a lot. Yeah, not at all. Not at
And
all.
what may be the reason? Is it a sense of insecurity, or we feel we have to compete? And what do you think is the reason? Because any mature country, any mature organization should support failure.
Absolutely.
Because and learn from it.
Okay.
We are not at there. What could be the reason?
And that's called a journey that's called a journey that makes it complete.
Yeah.
Without failure, there is no success.
Yeah.
And when there is success, there will be failure. That completes your journey. I think that you need to reflect on the other point, Doctor, is that we people generally today they have stopped reflecting. We have also discussed a lot on this.
Yeah.
Why is the reason, what is the reason that this is happening, Why a person has failed, Failure is not a hallmark of not being successful in the future. So we don't reflect as much
Because
as human
possibly
beings.
failure is been considered a measure of incompetency.
Absolutely,
That it is a person are incompetent, that's why they fail.
Right.
Like you go to exam and fail, that means...
I was just going to say that, Doctor, to you. I covered education extensively.
Yeah.
That was my core subjects of writing. So every year when the results would come out, we would target those 10 toppers and glorify them in the newspaper and all that. So there was one parent who called me one day, and that really opened my eyes. She called me and she said that my son missed the rank by probably 1 or 2 marks, but he's not in a newspaper. Is he a failure? I didn't have an answer to that.
Not only that, Seethalakshmi, see, he might have got a rank, but even so-called those who didn't achieve any
Yes.
ranks or near rank, maybe ordinary pass or even a fail. One of the things we have found out in our journey of this Antardhwani is whether it is urban or rural, all of them have talent.
Yes.
Do you agree with that?
Absolutely. Absolutely.
You met so many rural
Yes.
women, girls, and our conclave meeting.
Yes.
What are your views on
Each one of them.
It is just opportunities that differentiates between an achiever and a non-achiever. Simply that. And as a society, we have celebrated success only.
Yeah.
We have never gone back and told people, like you said, I have not heard this. And therefore, because I have not heard that you can't fail, my father would always tell me that you have to get first rank. My father would always say that, so I would strive towards getting that first rank. So, even in journalism, I would tell myself, I can't miss a story. If I miss, I was very harsh on myself. I'm still very harsh on myself. So, when you tell me that it's okay to fail, you're actually telling me there is a path for you to learn.
Yeah. I think other thing is, Rahul, is in our journey in Antardhwani, our IHTUA, the activities, we have come across a lot of people who may not be brilliant mathematicians, but their brilliance is elsewhere, maybe art, maybe in strategy, maybe in music.
Right.
So, when we looked at a lot of rural people, urban. So, as Seethalakshmi said, the opportunities, what they are not given and all. How do you see this going forward with the divide of India between urban and rural? And what do you think so far our journey has been in changing this scenario?
I'll give an example. We fielded a candidate in the Gundlupet Assembly elections, in the Karnataka Assembly elections last time. And at least 50-55 people of our team worked day and night for that. We could see the sync and the synergy in their minds, in their talent, capability, which were not explored. The potential came out phenomenally, which we cannot even explain that way. And we were just struck that this particular lot of 50-100 people are so talented. Each one is doing their own demarcated work, and they went on doing very well, Everything, somebody is handling communication, somebody is handling regulatory filings at the Election Commission office, somebody is handling communications to these people. We were there day in, day out. So what you say, that people have talent, only the opportunity is something which we have to bridge. We have always spoken about this, Second, like you said about the urban-rural divide, the thing, what is happening today is the migration from that we also have spoken and that we want to work about, that migration is happening from, it has been happening over the years from rural to urban areas. How to make these rural areas self-sufficient, which can tap the potential of these people, in multifarious ways, And that's what we plan to do with Antardhwani in Gunlupet, make it self-sustainable in terms of employment, in terms of tapping their potential, abilities. That will also bring at a point of time, will facilitate reverse migration from towns and cities back to villages, which will, and not many people are creating such ecosystem, but we have found that you have that in mind for a long time.
You means we.
You means we.
Yes.
So, but we sometimes we learned from you.
Yeah.
Can you explain a bit about this creating an ecosystem in rural areas? You have this impetus we have found. How to make rural areas sustainable?
See, the normal perception,
Right.
having grown up in a city, Bangalore, growing up not exposed to rural life, went to US, suddenly saw the most advanced country in the world. One would imagine that you would think that cities are the prime areas. One would imagine that you would think that rural people are not really affluent or coming forward. Only brilliant kids come out because maybe they are not capable. This could be a normal assumption lot of people in urban areas carry or other nations. But I think having seen the school I started 20-30 years ago, primarily I started to understand as a pilot project what is the capacity of these kids. Very quickly I came to know they are brilliant. Their IQ is equal to the urban kids, but just that they don't have that opportunity. But imagine somebody, when you are born to a wealthy family, or a well-educated family, you are several legs up compared to others. And you have to work hard, because I came across girls who had to get up at 4:30 in the morning, cook, then only they would be allowed to come to school, otherwise no. And children were getting married at 14, 15 in the 90s. And there was no hope for particularly women students, girls. And it was a very dark age in my view in terms of rural. Okay. I remember going to Gundalpet and seeing people there was big storm, people with red hair, kwashiorkor, tummy bed, malnutrition. And it is like shocking. This is India. And for me doing a health camp, I said, what am I doing a health camp? So I quickly realized what they need is resources. What they need is knowledge, know-how. And when you realize that they were paying, for example, interest rates 4% a month, 5% a month, they were bonded laborers. They couldn't get out of it. Nobody recognized this. The system did not. The politicians did not. Because maybe that is not in their interests. See, to keep the people, rural people under control is their vote bank. Whether they agree or disagree, of course, if you interview any politician, he'll totally disagree. Yeah. I am for the people, bought the people, they talk. But how many times they have even visited the people who they elect? Right. Hardly. And what prosperity has brought to the politicians much more than what has been to the rural area. Okay. So it is clearly a failed system. That is when I thought our movement, like Antardhwani, and what we started is a path to understanding this, putting out these kind of publications, knowledge, and actually doing something about it. Because we felt, particularly after Seethalakshmi, you joined, we have a good team to understand this and do something about it. See, a lot of people have lot of views. They publish it, they do, and people go and do a school or a college, but that won't make a difference. It has to be total upliftment of the targeted area. How do we create wealth in that entire area? Right. I think that is what I know. Next thing I would like to ask you is, how do you feel our journey has been so far? Both of you can answer. And are you excited about some of the initiatives we are taking? And with some of the failures can also happen, where will we be in few years?
So, if you look at the journey of 7 years, like I earlier pointed
7
out,
years.
it has been, yes, 7 years is a long time, yes. It has been a
2017.
lot of learning, okay. Now, we are raring to go where, now there is the time has come for us to do something concrete on the ground, which is why I keep going back to your Gundlupet vision and also looking at the rural areas. So, to give you one quick anecdote, when I joined journalism, when people ask me, why did you join journalism? I said, I like to write about poverty. I like rural reporting,
Wow.
Yes,
Okay.
I like rural reporting. So, there were bureaucrats who have told me, you're from the Times of India, that is a very elite newspaper. Why will you do? Why will you do rural reporting? Somebody going and covering a press conference of a rural development Panchayati Raj, they will say, oh, the Times of India journalist is also here. So, to come back to what you asked, I think the pathway is very clear now that we do those groundwork and start improving people. If there are 10,000 women, where do we see them five years from now? When we three walk into that place, we should look at, wow, they were not like this. Like you said, when you went 20 years ago to Gundlupet, you said they looked different. Today they are looking very different.
Amazing today.
Exactly. So look at the joy it gives you. Okay. So that is where the future should be, that you start doing work, and for us the time was yesterday. We would like to start work from now.
So Rahul, taking up on that,
Right.
to see we have now plans for Policy Institute. We have plans for job creation. We are already doing skill training.
Correct.
We have hundreds of people who are getting trained, and job is an issue in the rural area. Do you think as we move forward, focusing on one area like Gundlupet, where we have done a lot of work, making it really like a metropolis, where like a Puram, where people can have institutions, education, where jobs, create it and write about it and create a model where we document it. Already a lot of work has happened.
Lots,
So take it to the utopic stage. Is it possible or is it only a dream?
I believe the dots are in the right places. We have a large rural base, large rural support base, a very bright bunch of women and young people. Also, we have the three of us, and we can facilitate more people to come. We have the mind to kind of put both of them in sync. So we have these people who we can study, experiment, and then who we can empower. Also at the same time, debate, discuss with our Dialogues Institute, which is on the anvil, publish reports, do studies, surveys, and really influence also the establishment on what is right, what is the right way of going ahead, what is our vision. And if these two, we are fortunate to have both of the things in our hands.
Absolutely.
So we just have to join the dots in the right manner.
Correct.
And I believe that is very much possible, because Gundlupet, with your past, I believe 30-35 years of intervention, has already come to a certain level. We don't have to start from scratch.
Correct.
So when it's already at a certain level what we have felt.
Inflection point.
Inflection point. So we have to bring them to the next level now, where we always talk, each one of them feel empowered, each one of feel they can make a difference to their community and society, and each one of them get those right opportunities to make that difference. I'm sure we can do it.
I think
And
one,
it's
yeah,
good
go ahead.
it's good to focus on one particular area and do that, because 5 years from now we will see the change in that area rather than
Correct.
spreading our wings
And
everywhere.
this could become a model because of the way we're going to document and study for others to come and study. And using technology, we can also disseminate this information
Absolutely.
across.
Very important.
And we are building like a headquarters in Begur. All of that, I think, can make a huge difference. A transformation, how you can transform a very, very remote backward area to something of a advanced country type. I think that is what we should do with the cooperation of the people, their approach, attitude, positive way of looking at it. Because one of the difficulties I faced was people were always looking at a very quick handout.
Correct.
What are you going to give me? Sometimes they would think, oh, Dr. Ajai Kumar has come, he was in America, he has made tons of money, he doesn't know what to do with the money he's going and spending here. Let him. So that was the attitude. And then particularly since I was also not from there. Why is he coming? He doesn't even belong here. But that thinking to transform took me quite a bit of time.
Absolutely.
Look, we are here as your partners to do, and we want you to take the matters to your hand and transform. We are only a facilitator. And that, now, as you said, is an inflection point he has worked. It has taken 20, 25 years, but it has come there as you see them. Now, as I was said, my vision is to make it not just 10,000, but 100,000, and include youths, even men into this program, start a cooperative society, a bank. So this becomes like a very sprawling, 150 villages plus small towns together, and it will be a great experiment working with everyone, and you both being involved deeply, and your enthusiasm is going to make a huge change, and you are the drivers, the motivators of the team we have. So when you look at all this and the transformation, what is missing in our approach here? Are we missing certain things? Are we going to, as we look forward, are we going to say, hey, I wish I had done this or that? So we should reflect also on that. Right. And if you have any thoughts on that also, I'd like to hear.
Correct.
Yeah. So going back to what we have been saying, I think it is important now that we shut out everything else and blur everything else, and then say that we will put a plan and we will set targets, we'll put timelines and say that, okay, this is what we would like to do. Now that we have a complete, that is the advantage, like Rahul pointed out for us, that we have people on the ground and we have the urban. So how does each feed into each other and integrate everything and then build that model?
I think the Policy Institute should start putting out.
Absolutely. And
yes.
I would put one word which can sum up what she's telling, which we often hear from you, focused factory approach.
Yes.
So go ahead now with focused factory approach.
Absolutely. I think that is the way approach, focused factory, not to get diverted and distracted by other things. If somebody says, okay, can you do this project? Can you do this project? I think we should not. We should stay focused on why we came here. Like I always talk about why I came to India is because I'm an oncologist. I know how to treat cancer right way. And in this regard, I want to tell you a story about cancer patient. This is exactly what I will relate to what we can do Gundurpet. But when an institution has treated recently a patient, 36-year-old, they treated, she had a cancer which has spread to lung, and they said, we can't do anything, you are terminal. Nothing. But we saw her and we put her through our tumor board, got involved. And after a few treatments, some changes in the genomics, understanding, spending enormous time, we actually treated her. Today, she's not cured, but she's disease-free. All the lung lesions have gone.
Wow.
This is the hallmark of a center of excellence. When people come and say, I was in my other center in India, can you do? I say, if you want complicated, you have to come to Center of Excellence. Taking that analogy into our rural program, people always think, what do rural women do? They can't understand the goodness and all that. Why do we have to teach them all this value system? First, let them make an earning, let them come out of poverty. See, we feel we have to be highbrows in order to learn about values and ethics and all that.
Right.
Because these people, anyway, I buy their vote, I give them some money, they will do it. Because it is shocking when we hear our rural women say, who wants the 3,000? We want job. See, the reality is different what they want. What we assume they want is different from what they want.
What they want, exactly.
And that is where we are not paying attention.
Yes.
And that is where we are not going deep like a center of excellence. Right. So one of the things I have in mind is we have to dig deep into what do these people really want. Are they also grown enough to think of value systems, ethics, moral values? That is when I talk to them about some characters of Mahabharata. I was surprised they don't know. But it is our job to see how they can know. We can't leave it alone. So, and they're brilliant children. They have done bachelors in economics, masters in finance. They're good. But I think make them part of the mainstream is important. Right now, I feel they have left out of the mainstream. They are made, even though they are majority, they are not in the mainstream. Contrary, see, mainstream is the technology, India, techs, we talk in Bangalore. Nobody talks about rural. We talk about technology, startups. How much are you going to invest? I'm a billionaire. I'm going to put so much money in startup. Let us create a technology hub. Let us create a research hub. Where are rural in this? Nowhere.
Right.
I have a question for you.
Yes.
Why does your heart beat for the poor?
Pardon?
Why does your heart beat for the poor?
No, it is not for the poor. It is the inequality in society. I feel just because a child is born or somebody is born to a poor family or a lower economic, they should not be deprived of the opportunity to. And the government and the system has failed.
Absolutely.
Has failed in its independence. Pre-independence, of course, the colonization was there. It exploited the system and made sure poor get poorer. At one time, we were the largest GDP and British came and exploited. Nobody wants to talk about it. We still make deals with Britain. We do all that. But we are not even understanding India itself. We are not understanding equality is a must. I do understand, the communism failed, the capitalism is there. Today capitalism is thriving. But we have to bring a synthesis and some of it has to go to the rural area for development. Some of it has to go to recognize the talent in depth. Yes. The school system in government system has failed. There are some good schools. Brilliant children come out of it. But average kids, just above average kids will not come out. Yeah. They are left. That is why unemployment is high. So we need, and they are used by the system for cheap labor. Politicians use it to run some work for them. They pay them few rupees, something to take care. They are happy with it. So this shortcut approach, during the election, I'll spend some money to win the election. This shortcuts approach has to stop. The reason I feel is, very simply put it, my children are born to affluent. Just because other children are not, why can't they be equal? So when I look at a child in Gundalpet or anywhere, this child, if only he was our child, could have been so prosperous. Why not? What is this issue of has to be blood related? Everybody should be same. Yes. When I see girls in our school or coming to this Gundalpet training, brilliant people, why can't we give them opportunity? So I think that is the reason with all of us together, we want to make Gundalpet the real pilot project.
Right.
Can we treat, like I always tell my patients, Rahul, I see the patient and say, I want to treat you are like my sister's age, my daughter's age, my brother's age. I'll treat you like that. So can we do that also for these children? You could be my child, you could be my, can I give you that opportunity? What I would give for my family. And this is the thinking we have to bring across. And this is where, our podcasts, our talking to these people, when we talk to these rural women, children, we should highlight so that people who see this, read about this, hey, I also want to be part of this journey. Yes. There are people like that. There are a lot of good people who want to be part of the journey, but they don't know the way. Right. I think this model of Gundalpet, this model of our institute, policy institute, should give them the path. We talk about people, I'm not saying we're Buddha or Mahavir Jain or Christ or Muhammad, no. But individual Socrates, Stoic philosophy, individuals are brought and given the path. So why not we take this and given a path for Gundalpet, say, hey, follow this path that can lead to something extraordinary for you. So we can create that kind of training center. We can even, when we show people change, rural people, rural women, their thinking, their talk like philosophers, thinkers, world will be amazed. Yeah. Hey, where did you come from? Sure. Hey, from Gundalpet I came, I did this. Yeah. It will be phenomenal. I think we should experiment. Like I said, again, failure is no issue. If we fail, we'll open another thing.
I have accepted it in full.
Yeah, I have accepted, but we will go and try. I think that is the journey we should do. Any final thoughts you have, Seethalakshmi, Rahul?
And this, what you said just now, that philosophy is always associated with more so urban people.
Yes, educated people.
Educated people. And because our whole sense of education is different. But philosophy can also come, I believe, since my exposure to visiting our rural areas, that we have a lot of learning from those people.
Correct.
So rather we always think, we are telling generally what we consider that we want to empower those people, but they have lots of potential to empower you as well.
We learn from them.
So we learn from them every day.
But we don't want to introspect and acknowledge it.
We don't,
that is another problem.
That's correct.
Like when I see a cancer patient, I told one of the patients, maybe you come here to see me, maybe I am charging you for this, but believe me, I'm learning more from you than what I'm giving you. Right. Because when they smile, when they talk, when they know they have only 6 months to live, still they're smiling and talking actively and full of life, we learn a lot.
Absolutely.
And that is exactly what you said about learning from these rural people. We learn happiness. They say, I don't have water for 5 days. Still they are smiling and doing, and still they have positivity. I think we should get this out. And they are true philosophers. In fact, I always tell my children, when we talk about great philosophers of, let's say, Buddha or Confucius or Socrates, they didn't read books. Right. They didn't go for degrees. They just interacted with people.
It was like
based on that, they came up with a philosophy. Like I told you one incident about goodness. It seems in the ancient Athenian times in Greece, there is a person famous general is walking in the streets, he knows him. Then a person encounters him who is covered his face and says, sir, I have some information I need. He says, what do you want? Where can I get some good food, some good articles? Where think I need good food and vegetables and all that, some grocery things and all. Where can I get here? There's a market here, down the street here. You go, that is the best area in Athens. You can get a lot of good things. Oh, then one more, sir. Where can I go to get some goodness? He's shocked. I don't know. Who are you? He says. That guy is Socrates. Okay. See, Socrates' way of managing is all dialogue. Right. Dialogue is what we should go for. Dialogue Institute, because through dialogue we can learn. Even a common man can teach you so much. A common woman can teach you. That is why I think we should transform Gundalpet into a dialogue institute.
Yes.
Get people, have our institute and do. So I think I'm all excited. Seethalakshmi, you would like to say something?
Absolutely. Can't wait to go like it is for me. In a newsroom, I would be very excited about every story that I wrote. So for me, the Gundlupet story is what I'm dying to write.
And this could be our experimental area. Try this.
Absolutely.
Why not make them philosophers, thinkers?
Yes.
Why not they participate? It's not all about just affluence. It is all about goodness. It is about difference between being a good person and goodness. We should dialogue all that.
Yes.
We will do a separate podcast on some of these things. What is Stoic philosophy?
Yeah.
We'll invite some thinkers.
Let's start something like the goodness index.
Yeah, index.
We'll measure it today and then we'll measure it
and
after.
what is Stoic philosophy? How it can make a difference for you? And what is wealth creation? And is wealth creation necessarily give you happiness? We should discuss and debate this and bring in the people to also, controversial people also discuss. So we'll do that in the next episodes and all that.
Yes.
Yeah, we
Okay.
look all
Open
set
everyone's
for
mind.
this learning and unlearning process.
Learning, unlearning.
Unlearning and enrich and be a better human being.
Yes. That is also equally important. I think this institute should focus on that.
Yes.
So with this, I think we will conclude our podcast for today. And thank you, Seethalakshmi,
Pleasure.
Rahul,
As you
being
say.
my partners and participating in this. We will do a lot more, and we will bring some very interesting people together. We'll talk to them
It was
and
wonderful.
take this movement also to a far higher level. We'll reach the Mount Everest. That is the moment we'll reach. Thanks again.
Wonderful. Thank you.
Thank you, and
Dr.
it was
Ajai.
wonderful
Thank
talking
you.
to you, Doctor. Often questions are never posed to journalists, but I think you did a fabulous job.
Fabulous job.
Being
and a great
posing a lot of
conversation.
questions.
you know.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yes.
Thanks.
Yes. Thank you,
Thank
Dr.
you.
Ajai. Thank you so much for all the opportunities that you've given us.
Thank
so
you.
far.
Equally, both of us have.
Thank you.
So we always say we are a team. When we say you, he says we are a team.
We are a team. Yes, yes.
So we are a team.
Yes, absolutely.